Good morning and welcome to Farm Factor. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and here's what we have in store for you on today's show. Kyle Bauer visits with Mark Hague, the Regional Administrator for Region 7 with the EPA. Then enjoy this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Next, Duane Toews catches up with Neil Carey with the USA Poultry, Egg, and Export Council. Then it's the Kansas Farm Bureau Update, and we'll end with Plain Talk featuring Kyle and Duane. Stay with us.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. This segment brought to you by Kansas Grain Sorghum. Growers working together. Find out more at kansasgrainsorghum.org.
Welcome to Farm Factor. Up first today, Kyle and Mark Hague discuss the importance of building a strong partnership between the EPA and Kansas producers.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer visiting with the Regional Administrator with EPA, Region 7, Mark Hague. Mark, I know it's no surprise to you that when we talk about EPA and agriculture, not a lot of farmers have a warm feeling about EPA, but you're trying to change that.
Certainly, and that's why we're here today too. And in our region, and a lot of what I do and our staff does is get out and meet people in the fields and work with the associations and build those partnerships to build a strong environment and a strong economy. I think we can do that in partnership.
What sort of things does a partnership involve? And when you refer to partnership in agriculture, what sort of things do both sides bring to the partnership?
Well, you know, I think what I hear a lot in the ag sector when you get out and talk to people is everybody's stewardship of the land, everybody wanting good soil health, everybody wanting to control nutrients, everybody wanting to protect water. And so I think when I hear people talk about the challenges, we share those, and I think in there lies the opportunity for a good partnership.
Truly, when we talk about the Clean Air Act or the Clean Water Act, EPA is sanctioned, if you will, or that is their job that the government has told them to do, clean up the air and clean up the water. And every day, every year, every drop is your responsibility.
That's right. I mean, we've been working under the Clean Air Act, the Clean Water Act for over 40 years. Congress has passed those laws and asked us to provide good, safe air and water for people, protect the land. And it's an ongoing process. The science and the knowledge about what's challenges we face in the environment to protect those vital resources changes over time, our knowledge of those impacts, and we need to work to set good, appropriate standards to protect public health, to have good clean air, to protect those source waters that are important to so many of us and so many communities across the heartland.
You mentioned science. Truly, science does evolve and science does improve. And so as technologies become available, and that's part of your job is to see that they're implemented?
Well, to understand that science, make good policy, understand where we can make changes, how those, how we can adapt and put controls in place and use technology to help us improve water quality. You look around and what practices people are putting in the field now, how nutrients are being applied and managed, what people are doing to use cover crops. I mean, that's technology. That's people adapting and learning and being innovative and resilient and doing things that improve the quality of our environment.
Truly, and makes your job a lot easier if you can interest people in doing it on their terms rather than you have to administer it through a negative set of terms.
Well, and that's where I think the dialogue and the partnering go, and bringing all the partners around, not just EPA, but conservation services and state agencies, departments of agriculture and producers, and all of us talking about how we can work together to solve these big problems and challenges. But I think working together we can do that.
We're visiting with Mark Hague. He's Regional Administrator for Region 7 EPA. This is Kyle Bauer reporting. Back to you, Jamie.
Thanks, Kyle. Folks, come back after these messages for this week's Kansas Soybean Update.
To see this show and past episodes of Ag AM in Kansas, go online to agaminkansas.com.
KFRM is one of the largest farm radio stations in the nation, dedicated to informing and entertaining rural listeners from northern Oklahoma to southwestern Nebraska. You can catch KFRM in many ways. Of course, 550 on the AM dial, streaming at KFRM.com, or on your smartphone by going to the TuneIn Radio app, or on Ag AM in Kansas on Tuesdays and Facebook every day of the week. KFRM, tune us in. You'll be glad you did.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Ag Promo Source is a unique group of marketing specialists with one mission: help your ag business grow. Each affiliate has their own area of expertise, and they work together to bring you advice, products, and services. To get started, visit agpromosource.com. Ag Promo Source. Together we grow.
This segment is brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff. Progress powered by Kansas farmers.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Soybean Update.
This is the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Duane Rehagen, CEO of the National Biodiesel Board, joins us. Duane, it's fitting that around the 4th of July holiday, we can talk about how biodiesel showcases America's energy independence.
We're very proud of that fact, and it's very fitting, as you said, that we see what biodiesel can bring as far as energy independence to this country.
And in what ways do we see that out on the road?
Well, we see every gallon of biodiesel used, every gallon of biodiesel produced and used here in the United States is one less gallon of imported foreign oil that we need to power our trucks and our farm equipment around this country.
And it really shows in so many ways, being able to use the product itself, how many plants are out there, and quite frankly, too, how many jobs it supports.
We have over 90 member biodiesel plants around the country, and last year we produced nearly 2 billion gallons of biodiesel here in the United States. And so you can just imagine what impact that has on the farm and agricultural economy, as well as the jobs that are created by those plants that are many times in rural areas of our country.
And the farmers out there who grow soybeans, boy, this can add so much to their product, knowing that biodiesel and the growth that it's seen here in the past several years.
One of our most recent economic studies reflected that soybean farmers enjoy about a 65-cent per bushel increase in value based solely on the fact that biodiesel is out there.
Lest we forget, another way it can help the benefit from it is the use of it by restaurants.
That's one of our larger growing feedstocks as well, is used restaurant oil from the restaurants. And so, again, a product that before had very little, if any, value. Now we've created value in that product for restaurant owners around the country, and we're turning it into energy for the United States.
How do quality control experts play into all this?
Biodiesel obviously is very well scrutinized as a fuel. Fuel quality is one of the cornerstones of our industry, and we've developed over the last 5 to 10 years. We continue to increase the quality of biodiesel, and so we're seeing higher and higher support among our OEM partners and higher volumes of higher blends of biodiesel that they warranty.
And to get that product out there, you need those fuel suppliers and marketers to get their product out to the consumer.
They are great partners of ours, and we see even the petroleum industry as partners of ours. Our biodiesel producers rely on the infrastructure that's already out there to move our product into the retail sites where consumers can make use of what we believe is the best fuel on the road today.
Duane Rehagen, CEO of the National Biodiesel Board, joins us on the Kansas Soybean Update. It's brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission. The Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers. Learn more at kansassoybeans.org. For Kansas Soybeans, I'm Greg Akagi.
Hope you enjoyed this week's Kansas Soybean Update. Stay with us after the break for more Farm Factor as Duane visits with Neil Carey.
I will take action against herbicide-resistant weeds. I will know my weeds, and I will stop them before they go to seed. I will do whatever it takes to give my crops the upper hand, and I will use multiple herbicide sites of action because every action counts. I will take action, this time for all time.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
No matter where, no matter why, the Veterinary Health Center at Kansas State University is committed to providing quality patient care to animals and exceptional customer service to their owners. From routine checkups to emergency and specialty care, our world-renowned specialists and experienced professionals are here to discover, to teach, and to heal.
Let us know.
How can I help?
How can we help?
Tarwater Farm and Home has been family-owned and operated since its beginning in 1978. What you need for farm and agriculture, lawn and garden, clothing and footwear, and so much more. You'll be surprised at what you'll find in this huge store. They have what you need and lots of it. So come take a look. You'll discover that customer service is first and foremost. Always has been with the Tarwaters. Tarwater Farm and Home, 4107 North Topeka Boulevard. This segment brought to you by Sure Crop, liquid crop nutrition delivered right to your farm.
We're back. Now Duane and Neil Carey talk about why the USA Poultry, Egg, and Export Council is a good partner for corn, soybean, and sorghum producers.
Duane Toews joining you once again with Ag AM in Kansas, and an opportunity to catch up with Neil Carey with the USA Poultry, Egg, and Export Council. Neil, tell us a little bit about the program and why it's important for not just poultry producers, but grain and sorghum and soybean growers as well.
Well, it's fun to travel the world and sell good chicken that we raise right here in America, and we can do it very economically. But our breadbasket here in America, we're blessed with great land where we can grow corn and soybeans and sorghum and everything else. We feed a lot of that to our chickens, and we're able to reach and many markets in the world and feed protein. And we're still great feed conversion, and we're still a very cheap protein. And there's a lot of countries that need cheap protein for health reasons.
We think about it really is kind of a value added, if you will, to the soybean and corn industries to be able to export chicken through the Egg and Export Council.
Yeah, it's a great place for all the processors to get together and talk about our common problems with world markets. We'll get locked out of a certain market. In fact, right now, it's been 2 years since we've been able to sell product into China. We're hoping with this new administration, maybe he can get that market back open for us, because it's a very good market for some of our products. One in particular is chicken feed. Nobody here, to speak of, eats chicken feed as much as the Chinese do. So it's a very good product for us to produce and sell into China. We hope that we can get that market open soon. Disease has an issue. Back in 2015, when we had avian influenza, particularly in the turkeys and egg, we were locked out of many markets. And right now, the rest of the world is suffering. Europe, Africa, and Asia all have high-path AI, and so some of their markets are needing more protein and needing our chicken. So it's very good right now for us, and hopefully we'll stay disease-free this spring and be able to continue to export product to many of these places.
It has been an interesting phenomenon, particularly through the migratory bird flyway that we saw most of that avian influenza in the United States. But you referenced a problem that's become worldwide, and fortunately for us in the U.S., we have had very little trouble with it the last 2 years.
Yeah, well, we've really increased the biosecurity. Our broilers did very well in 2015. We really only had one small outbreak in California. But our turkey folks and our egg folks had a little bit more of an issue. I think they've learned greatly from that, and I think they've increased their biosecurity. So that's going to be very beneficial here. But, hopefully we're blessed and we don't have an incident this spring. Normally we see it in the spring migration.
Well, our thanks to Neil Carey with the Poultry and Egg Export Council joining us here on Ag AM in Kansas. Jamie, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks, Duane. Come back after the break for this week's Kansas Farm Bureau update.
This is Eric Stonestreet, and as many of you know, I love my home state of Kansas. In March, Kansas ranchers lost homes, equipment, and thousands of cattle from the largest wildfires in the state's history. Imagine losing all you have in a fire. Not just your house, but your livelihood. Ranchers are beginning to rebuild, but it will take years and tens of millions of dollars to build back herds, fences, and other infrastructure. Today, I'm asking you to help. Donate what you can and show your support to the ranchers of Kansas. Simply go to kansasfires.com. Your donation is tax deductible and will go to those who need it the most.
Grain sorghum is one of the most important cereal crops worldwide, and Kansas leads the nation in its production. Over the years, sorghum has been either exported, used in animal feed domestically, or for other industrial uses. Recently, its use in the ethanol market has seen tremendous growth, with 30% of domestic sorghum typically going to ethanol production. Kansas Grain Sorghum is committed to sorghum research, market development, and education. Learn more at ksgrainsorghum.org. Soil is the life of a farm, and for 25 years, SureCrop Liquid Crop Nutrition has helped growers produce abundant quality crops while preserving and improving the soils they steward. SureCrop offers complete soil and plant analysis with cropping recommendations, delivery direct to your on-farm storage, and quality crop nutrition custom blended for your field. Choose SureCrop for the assurance of excellence for your soil. Call today or visit their website for more information.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to Farm Factor and the Kansas Farm Bureau update.
EPA Administrator Scott Pruitt announced his agency has begun the process of rescinding the Obama-era Waters of the U.S. rule. AFBF Senior Director of Regulatory Relations, Don Parrish, credits grassroots work by Farm Bureau members as one reason that the current administration understands that the rule was more about regulating land than water.
We're very excited to be able to have the opportunity to comment on rescinding this rule and look forward to working with the administration as they finalize this rule and then move on to step 2, where they actually look at something that provides a lot more clarity in the future as to what a water of the U.S. is.
Parrish said the flawed WOTUS rule gave the EPA power to regulate almost anywhere it wanted on the landscape that water might pool or run after a rain shower.
I think we all recognize and want to protect clean water, but if you extend jurisdiction to the extent that you're regulating any water on the landscape, regardless of whether it's a stream or not, that's problematic.
Congress did not give the EPA authority to regulate land use, and Parrish says it's possible to have clean water without that level of intrusive regulation. Parrish says Farm Bureau grassroots members will stay involved in the rulemaking process through the next steps.
We want to see the administration move from withdrawing the rule to step 2, where they actually evaluate options for providing clarity and a rule that would work not only with farmers and ranchers but with states.
Chad Smith, Washington.
Stay with us. We'll be back after the break with Plain Talk.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Earlier in my life, I rode bucking horses and rodeos, and my shoulders took such a beating, and that was probably the reason for having several previous surgeries on both shoulders. About a year ago, I decided that I didn't want to have another surgery, and so I contacted Kansas Regenerative Medicine, took their treatment process. It was relatively pain-free. Now, after 8 months, my shoulders have healed to the point where I think I'm probably 90 to 95% of normal. It takes a couple of months to start to see results and feel real progress. That continued to increase gradually until now at approximately 8 months, and I'm extremely pleased. I've got full range of motion. I can lift weights, I can throw, I can do a lot of things that I couldn't do without a lot of pain previously.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Welcome back. Now let's see what Kyle and Duane are up to on Plain Talk.
Hi, this is Kyle Bauer with Plain Talk with the questioning Duane Toews.
Your fact or fiction question of the day, Kyle Bauer. The pollen of the white lily has a catnip-like effect on cats. When digested or inhaled, the pollen of the beautiful springtime flower produces euphoria and hallucinations in cats. Fact or fiction?
Does catnip do that? I knew euphoria, but does it do hallucinations?
I don't know.
Have you ever been around catnip? I have not.
Never sniffed the stuff myself.
Well, never used it personally.
Never used it personally.
Have you ever bought it for one of your cats?
No.
Do you have cats?
We've had a cat off and on throughout time.
So you're not. I am not an expert on catnip either.
We've had cats around. We never bought them catnip. I thought if they needed,
the only nipping that cat did was if the dog got too close to him.
Take him to a psychiatrist if I felt the cat needed a little pick-me-up, I guess.
Right. I think that's fiction.
It is fiction. Cats exposed to lily pollen are in danger of kidney failure.
Wow.
So,
for those of you out there that are gardeners
no white
with
lilies
cats,
for the cats.
Be very, very careful.
Yeah, leave the lilies to the bees.
Lilies to the bees.
Or the pollen, at least.
So, with your cats on the farm, do you feed cats when you're on the farm?
We did sparingly.
Now, what does sparingly mean? Like if there was something left over at dinner, or?
No, we bought cat food when we had cats outside of the farm, but we didn't just leave a bowl of food there. Two reasons. One,
you didn't want to feed all the critters in the neighborhood.
The possums were big fans, so we fed the cats once a day. And they also recognized the fact that if they wanted to supplement their diet, there was plenty of things that could be found in the barns and sheds.
So you wanted to encourage them to go hunt.
A fat cat doesn't chase mice.
Would you if you were a fat cat?
No.
No, exactly.
If somebody else was feeding me, I would not search out food on my own.
You wouldn't even work here
I'd be
if somebody else was feeding
If somebody
you.
else would feed me breakfast in bed and 2 other squares a day, I wouldn't even make it into the office.
Right, exactly.
So
well, at least we
we
know
fed them a little.
where your heart is.
Just to make, if they looked thin, we'd feed them more. But, as long as they looked healthy.
My mom, she had, a plethora of cats, and no wonder because she fed the heck out of them. And, we had...
Word got around.
Oh, my gosh.
Hey, that lady's got all the food.
Sometimes we'd have 30 cats.
Oh.
On my mom's farm.
Yeah.
Not on our farm.
Not on yours.
On our farm, we would have a half a dozen. And
I tell you, though, a cat around that does his job or her job.
Absolutely.
They are really worth their weight in gold.
There was somebody I was talking to recently. The cat was getting moles out of the yard.
Seriously?
Oh, my gosh. That cat would be worth a fortune.
Never heard of that.
No kidding. On the other hand,
it's a mole-killing cat.
Yeah. If you could run that bloodline down... and you could get yourself a set of mole-killing cats, you could name your price.
Take them on parade.
Thanks for joining us. I'm your host, Jamie Bloom, and I hope you enjoyed today's show. See you next week on Farm Factor. We're here every Tuesday on Ag AM in Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.